This video is going to look at the process of urban blight. So normally in an urban situation we have this urban center, and there's a large tax base because of the number of people, and there's also a lot of jobs. That's why people move there in the first place. And all of that money goes to support things like schools, police, fire, public transportation, all those services that are needed in a large population center. Now what happens in urban blight is some of these people initially move out to the suburbs. And they're doing this in order to seek lower taxes, be able to have bigger homes, more property, those kind of things that are offered in the suburbs. Now what occurs is that as they leave, they also take some of that tax base with them, because very often these are the more wealthy individuals that were living in this urban center. This leaves an urban center with a lower tax base, but it still has to provide all those services that people need, and it still has to provide jobs for the people that are remaining. The problem is when there is less money, those services are going to decline. There's going to be fewer jobs and so on. And so you're going to end up with worse schools, more crime, and an overall degradation of public services. Now, because of the fact that all of these issues are happening within the urban center, more people are going to end up leaving for the suburbs to escape some of those bad schools and crime and seek jobs that are forming in the suburbs. And so with them, those jobs are going to leave the urban center, and even more of that tax base leaves. So now again we have an urban center in which the services are going to decline even further because they have even a smaller tax base, but they still have to provide all of those expensive services, especially things like transportation. And so what you end up with is an urban center in which the majority of the people that remain are in poverty. You have bad schools because they can't fund them. You have high crime because they can't pay for police. You have poor services overall because things like subways and other public transportation cost a lot of money. And you don't have a lot of jobs because those all moved just outside the urban center to the suburbs. And then all of this can result in many of these urban centers having to file for bankruptcy. They have all of these bills and they don't have any tax base to draw money from. And this is basically what urban blight is. Because people leave for the suburbs and take the money with them, it saddles these urban centers with huge bills that they can't pay, and they'll end up defaulting on those and not providing the services that they need to do.